Welcome to We Are the People. Today we're talking about mental health, and I'm here with my boy
Don Kemosabi
and my boy
Alecth3illfigure.
And I think this is a topic that needs to be touched on. We've been thinking about talking about this for a long time, and so it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So let's get to it. What do y'all feel about mental health?
Starting this off, I want to say that anybody watching, if you feel that you may be having problems, if you feel like you may be depressed or anxious or anything like that, don't be afraid to talk to somebody. Don't feel like you're by yourself. Don't feel like you're alone, because you're not. There, you have friends, you have family. If you feel like those are not people that you can talk to, there are plenty of places that you can go to get help. If you ever feel suicidal or have any dark thoughts, you can call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. They will talk to you. It's 24 hours, Monday through Sunday. You never have to worry about somebody not picking up. There's always somebody out there that's there for you. With that being said, mental health as a whole is something that people, at least I feel like, don't really take seriously. And especially when it comes to people of color. Black people especially, you're thought that if you're suffering from depression, or if you're feeling suicidal, or if you're anxious, or if you have bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, something that is something wrong with you, when that's not the case. Everybody has mental struggles. Everybody has stress. Everyone is bothered. As a black man, we're taught to not let things get to us. But the thing about it is that's something that's impossible. You're going to have things that come up in life that are going to get to you. You're going to have things that come up in life that may seem harder than the next thing, and a lot of people don't even know that they're going through depression. Some people just think, oh, this is just bad stuff happening all at once, when that's not the case. You may actually be going through depression. Some signs of depression is excessive worrying, feeling restless or on edge, muscle tension if you're constantly sore or tired, a feeling of worthlessness, feeling like you're not supposed to be here, feeling like, you don't contribute anything, or that, nobody wants you here. Excessive guilt, which is something that a lot of people go through when they make a certain mistake, or they hurt somebody or hurt themselves, or, just things like that. And that's one thing that I really have trouble with. When I feel like I've hurt somebody's feelings or I've done something wrong with them, I go into immediate depression, especially when I try to make things right, or I try to apologize, or, just come to peace with a person, and they may not be at that point yet where they can have that discussion.
Right.
I feel really bad about it, because it's like, me as a person, I never want to hurt anybody.
You know what? That sounds a lot like anxiety too. But I think like a lot of people don't realize that anxiety and depression go hand in hand. It's always in combination. Like whenever somebody's diagnosed with depression, they also get diagnosed with anxiety. I had that experience myself. And
but I think that's because of what it causes. Because when you get depressed, you get what? You get in your head.
Yeah.
And you have all those thoughts running and stuff like that. So it's like...
But I don't know, because depression to me, well, in my personal experience, it's always been like a existential dread. It's like a deep, dark hole. Whereas it's like anxiety, it's like the fear of losing something or everything, losing control. And it's like depression is not wanting to control or have, what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying. Control. I feel like anxiety is more of the feeling like a loss of control, a loss of being able to maneuver the situation how you want.
Yeah.
But the thing people have to realize, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to let stuff happen. You have to let things play out. And 9 times out of 10, when you let things play out, it plays out in your favor. That's something I'm having to come to grips with now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a situation now where I have to let things play out. I have to basically just put myself on rest mode and just let things happen as they're supposed to happen, and hope that things go the way I want them to go and the way I hope that they go.
That might be OCD. I ain't
Like,
gonna lie. But no,
I don't necessarily think it's OCD.
Wanting things to go the way you want them to go.
No, I mean, but that's with everybody. Everybody wants good things to happen. Everybody wants a bad situation to turn good. You know what I'm saying?
To the point of obsessing about it.
I can agree with Alec in a sense, because technically he's right. If you're a human being, no matter what it is you're doing, you want that thing to go your way. The only problem is that it's not the way the world works. Everything goes the way it goes.
Yeah, everything isn't
That
perfect.
because we're human beings and we know that we can make things move when we touch it, and we can hold things close to us and push things away. We feel like we can control that moment in its entirety.
Especially when you know that you can. It's like when you know you can fix something, when you know you're able to and you willingly want to, but at that point in time, you can't, or you're not necessarily allowed to.
Yeah, that causes anxiety.
It causes anxiety because you're like, well, just let me show you, let me prove that this will work out if you allow me to do what I need to do.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem with human nature, is that we're blessed with the power to love. We're blessed with the power to think. We're blessed with the power to care. We're blessed with all of these abilities that other animals aren't suffering from. Mm-hmm. Technically, human beings are the only people who suffer from mental awareness. Yeah. Like, you simply suffer from just being aware of thoughts in your own mind. And the problem is, when you're going through those thoughts, you can't identify with it. You're just stuck there. You don't even realize you're doing it. You just, why can't I have this? Why can't I do that? Why won't this
think
person
about it, because humans are capable to love and to care and to feel sadness and all these things. It's like when you can't, it hurts. Like, it hurts a lot. Like, it messes with you. Like, it may be something that's mental, but it can physically affect you.
Y'all ever got so anxious, like you have a responsibility or something that you really, really want to do, but you're so depressed to the point where you don't have the motivation to do it, so you get anxious at the fact that you can't do the thing that you want to do, even though, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, it's like this ping pong type of energy.
Or have you ever been in a situation where it's like, you can fix it, you can make things right, and you try to do those things, but when you do those positive things, it makes it worse. So then you get in your own head, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, how did this turn into this? Like,
and you see it as a problem with yourself, when you just gotta realize.
Yeah, and then you feel even more guilt. Yeah, then you feel even more guilt. You feel even more anxiety, because now you're left wondering, well, dang, I did this good thing, but it turned out like this. So is everything that I do going to end up like this?
Yeah.
So then you start getting that doubt, and doubt is heavy, bro. When doubt hits you that way, when you
like doubt,
especially when you realize like how small our existence is. Like, I think about that every day, like how small our existence is, and my issue is every day that I wake up and I strive for a goal, how much does that goal really matter at the end of the day? Because we're on this floating rock, and we're just people on this rock, just like little ants in a whole entire universe. And it's like, you could accomplish that goal, but in the grand scheme of everything, it don't matter. And then it makes life seem so pointless, and then that brings me down to like a deep, deep depression. I constantly have to pull myself out of that and just realize that I'm here and I need to make the best of it. But that's not always easy to do.
Yeah, that's one of the things I realized because I've had that feeling too, like, dang, man, I'm doing all this stuff, but it don't even matter. But then I have to, like, condense my universe. If that makes sense. You have to, like, condense your universe and be like, all this stuff is going on, all this, but with what I'm doing now, with the people I'm around, you know, with the actions that I'm taking, I'm making a difference, or I'm leaving a positive like mark, you know, in my world and to the people that I care about. Cause my world is small.
Yeah.
My world is very small.
And see, that's my problem, because you gotta teach me how you do it. Because like, to me, my world is super big. Like in my head, like I do a lot of meditation, and my biggest problem is like, I'm straight when I meditate. I'm straight when I feel like everything is at ease.
But you know
Everything is
why?
at peace.
Because you condensed. When you meditate, it's just what? It's you.
Your inner world.
It's you in your own space.
You know me, and you know my creativity. My inner world feels so big that sometimes I just feel like I can't reach enough of it. I can't touch enough of it. You know me, like I'm like, the one thing I used to hate about my parents growing up, be like, why you always giving people stuff? You don't need to be giving people stuff all the time.
Yeah, and the thing about you is like, and that's one thing I respect about you. Like, you set big goals, and it's like, not saying it's a bad thing, but sometimes, man, you want the world when you got an acre right in front of you.
Yeah.
And you miss out on that acre trying to get the world. And that's one of the things that, like, I be trying to talk to you. Like, when we have certain conversations sometimes, I be like, look, man, you got to focus on what you got right now. You got to focus on all those good things that you got going for you right now. Because if you don't, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, dang, I could have really enjoyed that moment right there. But I was so focused on what was a mile away, I didn't even realize what I had right in front of me.
But it, like, that's the thing. A lot of times people don't know. I already see what's in front of me. That's why I'm looking past it.
Yeah.
Like, it's right there. To me, it's like, it's nothing to grab it.
Yeah,
the hardest thing for me is like, when that thing that's so easy to grab, you just can't hold on to it. It slips.
Yeah.
It slips and it keeps slipping. But guess what? It's not your fault. It's just slippery. It's literally just slippery. You know what I mean?
But I mean, my thing with me is like, because I had that issue too, where I was, you know, I would be doing stuff and things would be going real good, but I'd be like, okay, it's not enough. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. You know, this person is happy. This person is happy. I'm good. I'm okay. Everything is falling into place. So now I gotta get this. And I don't take the time to just enjoy the mark I made right now in that moment.
And you know what? I'm even trying to interrupt y'all because y'all made some good points. But you know what? I don't think that people realize how big of an impact social media has on the rates of depression and anxiety that people have. Like when you get, like I had to take a break from Facebook for a while because I kept constantly comparing my progress in life to other people's progress in life. And it was constantly, you see them with their kids, and they got their degrees and they in the mountains and I'm just here and I'm just like, when's my day gonna come, you know? But it's like everybody has their own path, and I think it's good to kind of to live through it. Like you just got to go through it. Like I used to, depression would be kicking my behind. Like I would just be in bed. I'd get off from work, lay in my bed, and wouldn't do nothing. I would stay in bed and not pee when I had to pee.
Be laying in bed for like 3 hours, knowing you got to get bad.
Peeing, this is not important. Like my bladder don't matter. Like it's just eating, you know what I'm saying, and just sleep for hours. And it's really hard to pull yourself out of that hole when you feel like you're just not doing enough. And another thing that bothers me, knowing that everybody is gonna die. So whatever mark I make on this earth is gonna die with them. You know?
But you can't necessarily say that. It's because
like you way more significant in that. Like,
yeah, and the thing about it, you know, just because something isn't necessarily outright in your face doesn't mean it's not there. You know? You can make it. A person told me it takes nothing to be kind. You know? It takes nothing to be kind. It takes nothing to be nice. It takes nothing to do a kind gesture, and those things leave marks. Those little kind gestures, those things of just, you know, wanting to help and wanting to be a good person, those things matter and they last. And because it doesn't necessarily have this big effect where it's known worldwide, it has a trickle down effect, and that lasts forever.
Yeah, because I mean,
until somebody dies.
But the thing about that person, you made a mark on them, and then it makes them in turn leave a mark on somebody else. You pass that mark down. You see what I'm saying? And it just keeps going like that.
Look at this, like, to me, death is just, we all playing this game right now. We know this is a game. Life is just a game. And the way you think is the way you feel. You can look at it however way you want to, but the way you think is literally the way you feel. The man that became great might have always didn't think he was a great man until the day somebody told him he was. And then he rolled off with that belief.
And it changed his whole perspective on things.
That great woman became a great woman because one day somebody told her she was a great woman. Or maybe one day she told herself, but whatever the way you think will be the way you feel, you know. So I definitely understand what you mean, like, when you stuck in those depressions, because, like, you know, I grew up with a lot of those struggles as well. And some days I still suffer with it. And the hardest thing is trying not to lean on, you know, anything in reach to make me feel better. That's the scary thing. Is when when
you try to find a vice to
get out of it.
Self-soothe. Yeah.
I'm stuck here, so I'm gonna drink. I'm stuck here, so I'm gonna smoke. But what you don't realize is you're only gonna get lower. You're not gonna get any higher.
And the thing about those vices that you're trying to use to cope ain't doing nothing but bringing all those feelings and all those emotions.
It's just making you dependent on something that you don't even need. Yeah. And I feel like because maybe I was so depressed when I was young, that might be one reason why I've always been so giving. Because a lot of the times when somebody be like, oh, I appreciate that, I wouldn't even realize what I did until after.
Because you felt like everything that you were doing was insignificant.
I feel like it's not even a meditation of good or bad when I do something. Sometimes, not even sometimes, when I get somebody something, I feel like it's because you're supposed to have it. Not from an entitlement standpoint. It's just like, you don't tell yourself every day you need to breathe. But when you do tell yourself you need to breathe is when you're panicking, right? Anxiety, stress. It's like, I just need to breathe. I just need a break. I need time. I need space. All of a sudden, you need something that's all around you.
It's always been there.
Y'all ever forgot how to breathe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's terrible.
I've never had that where I've forgotten to breathe.
I forgot.
In a situation where,
I literally had to be like,
getting a little... Nah, I've had time where I'm like, okay, I know, all right, I'm getting a little anxious. I need to chill. And then I take the time to work. But I've never been like, I can't breathe. I gotta breathe. Nah, I've never had that.
No, it don't even be like that. It hit me like, it's literally like, okay, like, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm aware of the fact that I'm breathing. And so I'm so aware of the fact that I'm breathing that I'm afraid I'm going to stop breathing. So I just breathe even harder to compensate for the lack of air that I feel because I feel so trapped. Y'all, listen here.
Okay. That's anxiety.
I really want to
That's literally a panic attack because, I understand what she's saying because when you're gasping for that air, you don't even realize you're trying to forcefully breathe. You just telling yourself, I want to breathe, I want to breathe, I want to breathe. Mm-hmm. It's that split second of separation from thought and mind and body that causes us to have those effects. And I feel like, for somebody like me, it's best that I stayed in an area of good people like y'all. You know what I'm saying? I hate being around bad people.
Speaking of that, that is also a sign of depression. Withdrawing from like friends and family. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When you start backing away, not talking to anybody, things like that. That's a big sign too. Because
you feel like you're burdening people.
Yeah.
You feel like you're a burden. So yeah. I didn't write these statistics down for no reason. So y'all go listen to these, okay? Mm-hmm. So I just want to talk about the fact that 7.8% of U.S. adults, that's 19.4 million people, suffer from major depressive disorder. We got a little bit over 1% that suffer with schizophrenia. That's 1.5 million. But anxiety, 19.1%. That's 48 million. So a lot of people suffer from anxiety more than they do depression. And let's see, what else here? 43.8% of mental patients received treatment in 2019. These were the most up-to-date statistic I could find. But I really, with that, I wanted to say that what is treatment? Like, when we talk about the mental health industry and psychiatrists, I don't feel like they ever get to the root of the problem. Like, of course, it's good to talk about your problems, but I feel like the quickest thing they do is they put you on this medication, and the medication don't do anything but make you a zombie. Because I've had to take it before. It makes you a zombie. It makes you feel like the world, it doesn't even exist around you. You done lost your entire personality.
You done lost your will.
Yeah, everything. It's like you don't even know how to live anymore.
Yeah.
And how is that treating the actual illness, the actual mental problem? A lot of people don't realize that mental illness also is impacted by a lack of support by family and friends, and like how you was talking about with people of color.
Ain't nothing wrong with you.
Ain't nothing wrong with you. Stop crying.
You crazy.
Stop crying. You don't want to die.
That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. That happened to you.
Right. You got a roof over your head. You got food on the table. You got clothes on your back. You ain't got nothing to be depressed about. When people don't realize it's so much deeper than that. It's literally a existential dread. Like
you feel like a ghost hovering.
Yeah, you don't.
The one that infuriates me, like literally makes me mad, is you can sit there and you'll be trying to talk to somebody and explain how you feel, and then they say, "You'll be alright."
Oh no! What?
Dismiss everything you said, just to be like, "That ain't nothing."
Yeah,
it's so dismissive, and it's like, bruh, I'm
don't hit this. Hit this. You'll be alright.
Dismissive, you know, and that's, I feel like the biggest struggle in the black community with mental health is that we're taught to be dismissive when it comes to things like shut up about it and keep moving.
Because we're considered
especially
weak.
Black males.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
You're considered weak if you have any type of mental affliction.
If you show any emotion, and the thing about it, even Black women, like, they'll say they want a man to be vulnerable or this and that, and a situation may arise, and they might have to sit there and self-reflect and open up and be vulnerable with a person, and then now you're looked down on because you're being vulnerable. But it's like,
that's a topic for another day, but it does play a part.
I feel like people are just capable of like telling you, tell me what's on your mind, I want to know, and then when you like lay it on them, like, hold up, like, I can't handle all that.
Yeah,
you know, like, I feel like they retreat from wanting to help because once they finally get inside, they realize how much you dealing with.
But see, it's nobody's responsibility to help. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
Yeah, it's nobody's responsibility, but if the person really cares about you.
Because this is what I've encountered with a lot of people. Because first of all, I deal with it myself. But I've never wanted to come to somebody else and be like, oh, well, I just want to... I don't even want to say that on air. But you know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to come to somebody and unload all of that heaviness onto another person. It's a very negative energy.
But does it come from a form of withdrawal though? Or is it just like is that your... Because you said like you don't want to unload it on somebody. How do you know you're unloading it?
Because it's not somebody else's affliction. That's the thing. It's about going within. Like, okay, how we talked about when we were talking about spirituality, going within and handling our own issues. It might be something that's difficult to face, but you're the only one. But you're the only one that can conquer that illness and that pain that you're going through.
Right.
And you're the only one that can address those issues.
Definitely.
Even a therapist is not going to help you be able to address those issues. A therapist is not going to be able to help you completely change how you look at the world, or when that depression hits you, how you approach that depression. I'll tell you what, when I got really depressed, I noticed my room, my house would get just messy. I would just neglect everything. And then in turn, because the room was so messy, it made my internal world messy.
Right.
So what I did when I got depressed, when I got anxious, I said, you know what? Just do it like Nike. I'm about to pick up all these clothes. I'm about to organize everything. And I cleaned everything up. And you know what? At the end of the day, I felt a little bit better about myself.
Right.
Even, and a lot of things, like when it comes to depression, we get into self-neglect. We stop caring about how we look. We go out looking all type of ways. I had to start making, you have to make yourself, your inner world might not be the best, but if you make your outer world appear a certain way, you address things that's going on outside of you, then you can better conquer what's going on inside of you.
Absolutely.
You make yourself look good, wear something nice, put on that makeup, put on them Nikes, them Jordans, whatever you gotta do to boost your confidence and make you feel a little bit better about yourself and your own existence. Do that. And I've met a lot of people who, instead of doing that, they just want to unload their baggage on you. They want to complain. Well, I ain't gonna say complain because that's kind of dismissive, but they want somebody to talk to. And it's okay to want somebody to talk to. We all need somebody to talk to. But to constantly seek other people out in order to express that negative feeling that you have inside of you, that pain that you have inside of you, and never address it yourself, you're not going to conquer your mental illness. I read a news story where this lady literally, I think she had 6 kids. And her husband was out of town a lot. He was working a lot. And she was dealing with mental health issues, depression for a very long time. And I can't imagine. I ain't got 6 kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how hard that was on her. But why didn't you ever seek out? I mean, we have online therapists, baby. We have online therapists. If you didn't have time to go to an office, you could have sought the helplines or whatever you needed to while you was taking care of them kids. You know what she did? Instead of doing that, she left her husband a note talking about, you were never there for me. You never cared about me. You never tried to help me with my mental illness or my depression. She killed all her kids and burned her house down.
Jesus.
I feel like that's what's so scary about mental illness for me, is that you really never know what somebody is capable once they become technically sick.
Yeah. And the thing about it, you never know.
You don't know what they're eating. You don't know what's swinging their mood, their emotion. And
I feel like
that's the most important time to really love somebody. Because, like, trust and believe. When I hear that situation, I definitely hear nothing but tragedy in that situation. Like 2 people, 6 kids, that's a lot.
But that's one of the things with, like, parents. The person I was telling you about told me it takes nothing to be kind. It's like, because you never know what somebody is going through.
But this is like,
think
about this. Your mind, your body, your emotion, everything that you feel like is you gather from outside yourself in some form, in some sense. Yeah. The way you came up, you learn from outside of yourself. The way your parents talk to each other, the way your friends interacted with you, the way you saw people cross, people love people or whatever. Everything that you feel like you know today, you had to learn from outside of yourself. Mm-hmm. So when we always talk about dealing with pain inside, the hardest thing is nobody ever taught you how to. You don't know. It is literally,
and that's
the mind is the most.
But this the thing.
And hitting on that, that's
free.
Hitting on that is crazy.
Google is free, but Google is full of
free.
Opinions, contradictions,
but opinions that could
ideology. And guess what happens? You're still learning from outside.
Yeah, but guess what?
It's on the point where you said, like, a therapist can't fix you, but they can lead you to the right direction. So
absolutely,
it also depends on the person following the directions. Will they go that way?
And that's the hardest speaking thing. On it, that's one of the things I had to deal with, because, like, me, I was, and Eco knows, because I had a conversation with her a while back about some things I was going through, and I was so stressed about everything and was feeling guilty. And because another thing, like, when people open up to people, a lot of people are closed off because they don't want that information to be used against them or turned back on them.
Right.
And that was one of my shortcomings. That's something that I did. You know, somebody opened up to me about something, and I didn't even realize that I had done it until after I did it. You know, I didn't even realize that I took something that they said to me in confidence and inadvertently use it to try to prove a point or to try to make them, you know, feel a certain type of way about something. And that was completely wrong on my part. And that was something that, like, I felt really guilty about. I still feel guilty about it. I still feel, like, awful about it. But taking that time to look inside and reflect and be like, you know, what caused me to do that? Like, what was my issue that caused me to get out of character and do something that I would not normally do because I'm not that type of person. And that's just y'all knowing me. Like, I had to really sit there and sit down and evaluate and be like, okay, like, what is going on with me to where I'm acting this way? And that's another sign of depression, reckless behavior, like doing things that's out of your character.
Yeah.
Like, that's a sign that something.
But that's the first step. That's the first step to self-evaluation. And you know what? At the end of the day, we're all just people. We're gonna make mistakes. Everybody don't know how to handle their issues, but you know, you can always get help. You can always seek help. There's professional help.
One thing that I do want to just reiterate that if you are feeling some type of way and need help, you know, talk to somebody. Again, the number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. You are not alone. You are not by yourself. Someone is always there.
Big fact. And some tips to get you through your day. Fear is anxiety. Anger is envy, and character is the foundation of your mental health, so never forget that. And also remember, mind is creative, and conditions and environment and all experiences in life are a result of habitual habit. So, change your ways.
That's real. That's real. So, we are the people. I'm here with my boy
Don Kemosabi.
And my boy
Alecth3illfigure.
All right, y'all. So thank you for being here, for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for part 2, baby.
Yes, and hit that notification bell so you know when we're posting new videos.
I already said that.
Say it twice.
That's it.